Manitoba, 1981. In a Manitoba city in 1981, I was working for a shelter, serving women on the run. Battered and abused, they needed someone on their side. To be that someone made more sense than anything I'd tried. Now I'd been raised by gentle hands, raised up to respect the institutions of our land and the rulers we elect. And though my faith grew tarnished by all I heard and saw, I still believed that a righteous cause could bend the ruler's law. Now here in Manitoba, two worlds fought for one land. The world of white-skinned settlers and the world of native bands. It's a long and bloody story that brings us to this day, when white folks set the price and the native people pay. One day a woman came to us, she wouldn't name her tribe. She told us of her story, though it went against her pride. The owner of her building, a white man 6 feet tall, had followed her upstairs one night, raped her in the hall. This man, he was no stranger, she knew his face and name. For once the cops were with us and the evidence was plain. With his history of trouble, he'd not walk free for long. But when our day in court came round, the woman, she was gone. We hunted through the city, we followed every trace, and inwardly I raged at her for ruining our case. To come so close to having one less rapist on the street, and to have one frightened woman bring our project to defeat. Well, the cops soon gave up looking, but somehow I could not. I roamed the streets and alleys, seeking someone who would talk. And finally, a young girl spoke behind her mother's back. She's gone up to her people in the land of the Micmac. So this is how I found myself one early day in June, in a tiny native village northwest of the Saskatoon, standing by her doorway and pleading for my case, with a man who barred the entranceway and told me to my face. He said, "White woman, go back home. You don't know what you do. Our people will protect our own. We got no use for you. White courts, they jail our leaders. The city takes our young. It took my sister's innocence. There's nothing to be done." He said, "White woman, go back home. When justice serves your kind, do you think that simple evidence will sway a judge's mind? That judge, he sees us drunk and poor. He sees our broken pride. He'll never favor native truth over a white man's lie." He said, "White woman, go back home. You do not understand. White justice broke our treaties and stole our sacred land. We will not beg or bargain with those who steal and lie. And if there's justice to be done, it's we who will decide." In a Manitoba city in 1981, I ponder on these lessons and the work that must be done. And I think about her brothers who may walk these streets at night, and of one white man whose face and name they've memorized for life. And maybe in the paper someday I'll read a line that tells me he's the victim of an unsolved urban crime. And I won't point the finger, and I can't say for sure what kind of justice I would choose in a world so far from pure. It's a long and bloody story, and my battle's just begun in a Manitoba city in 1981.